Welcome, everyone. Today I'm talking with Stefansson, the co-founder of With Sarah, a platform that supports women to get a fun, effective, and quick workout from home, featuring his wife, Sarah. Stefan is also the CEO of Sensivo, a venture-backed startup in Stockholm. He has been on the founding teams of many successful software startups and has held various key positions in Icelandic companies. Stefan, welcome to the Membership Maker podcast. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Ward. I'm very excited to talk to you about all things membership.
It can be daunting for a membership owner to approach UX, user experience, but we know that it's essential to convert website visitors into members. What's your experience applying principles of usability and user experience in your membership?
Yes. So my first job out of college was at an Icelandic e-commerce giant. And on my first day there, I got handed these two books. And the name of the books was Web Usability by Jacob Nielsen and Usability Testing by the same author. And my role there was to acquire traffic to the websites that we had and then convert them. And then after being there for a little bit of time, they also sent me to San Francisco to attend a seminar with this man. And this man is has been in this user experience usability game for a long time. So he's kind of a little bit of like the king in this area. So what I did to learn these principles was just to study what's out there. These sites, like Amazon or these social networks like Facebook, they implement wide varieties of testing all day long, and they get outside people to do it as well. And the findings of this testing is often public and available. And we know that there are these basic principles of usability, user interface design, and user experience that, if implemented, it will increase the happiness of your website visitors. We know how people behave because it has been studied. The psychological behavior of them using a site. For example, when somebody enters a site, it's known that they look up in the left corner to see what company is this? Do they have a tagline? And then they look to the right and see if there's a call to action button, up to the top right. And in the middle, they try to scan the headline. And we know that it's best to have little text and clear headlines in all your content, because people just scan. And we know that people like call to action buttons because it draws them into the content. And we also know that blue underlined text gets a higher click-through rate than pink. So there are these elements and principles in usability and user interface design that can be easily found by Googling it. And they're not, you can, if you apply the top 10 most common and most basic principles, you're already better than 80% of the websites out there. So I will definitely make sure to share these resources with you later.
Yeah, the Jacob Nielsen, he has an agency or something called the Nielsen Norman Group, I believe, which they have a newsletter for folks that are out there. They have a robust blog with I think like over a decade of blog posts. So definitely check that out. There's a lot of good stuff there. Definitely one of the people that I read about when I kind of first got on my web design journey. So yeah, a lot of good content there. And yeah, I think usability is just one of those things that, how do I say this? People underestimate how important it is, right? Or they overestimate how good they are at it, right? So if you haven't actually studied usability and design, you may think you know what looks good and what's effective on a website, but you're probably wrong, at least in some important ways, because it's sometimes it's counterintuitive. A lot of times it's counterintuitive. Just because you think it visually looks cute or looks attractive doesn't actually mean it converts well. And those are very important distinctions. So I think reading a little bit, just like any topic, right? Reading a little bit about it and understanding some of the principles, like you mentioned, can go a long way. And just by doing that small amount, you'll be way ahead of everyone else who's trying to do it.
And also, I think it was Steve Blank who said that there are no facts inside the building. You need to go out there, you need to speak to people and, ask them or test how what you've built feels to them. Are they able to solve the problems that they're trying to solve? And they're also, because we talked about, these no-code solutions, there are many solutions out there that can be integrated with most of the platforms that MemberSpace connects to, that can be used to test the user behavior on your site and how they interact with your content and give you heat maps and statistics on the user behavior. So it's definitely something that it's worth looking into, and it will give you a lot of insight, because usually, like you said, you will not know how bad the layout is, really. You assume it's good.
Yeah. And I think to build on that point, they're talking to people. So there's tools for sure to collect data like heat maps and, what headlines are converting better, which are definitely useful. And then there's also, the qualitative of talking with people, having a conversation and asking them, what part of the site is confusing to you? Or, when you were getting set up, was anything not clear? That kind of stuff, especially in the beginning, really is helpful. And it's something that you really should prioritize and make time for, because you want to get that right. Right? Once you kind of have just doing that kind of rough usability user testing will get the big blockers out of the way. The big things are just that are not making sense, that maybe you thought made sense, but just don't. If you just talk to and I think the Nielsen Norman group mentioned this, if you even talk to like 5 people or run 5 usability tests, that's enough to catch the majority of the big errors that are going on in your site. So it's not like this giant, you need to talk to 100 people thing. Talk to a handful of people, and that will very quickly tell you what part of your site is like the most wrong. And that will be huge in terms of helping your conversions and building the business up.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for taking the time to talk with us, Stefan, and we really appreciate it. Would you like to share any resources or recommendations for folks trying to learn more about With Sarah?
I just recommend, if you're interested in what we're doing and want to see examples of what we talked about, you can go to withsarah.co, CEO that is, and then I really recommend reading a little bit about the things that Jakob Nielsen has published on usability and user experience.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.